So I wanted to do a review on a bag that I have for some time. I'm surprised I never did a review on it, but if you want to know what's inside, keep watching. So I wanted to do a review on a bag that's been out for quite some time, but it doesn't have the popularity like other luxury handbags that are really, I guess, they're out there in the mainstream comparison to like an Hermes or like a Neverfull by Louis Vuitton. Now, those bags, the styles that I just mentioned, obviously you can just say it and you already know visually what those are. Now, the bag that I'm going to show you in the sense of a review is a bag that I don't think a lot of people know about, which is completely unfortunate because the bag itself is completely gorgeous. And for me, I see it completely underrated. Now, by no means does that mean this particular bag is on the lower end spectrum in terms of price range, because it's not. It's a little slightly, I would say about $100 less than $3,000, excuse me. So again, the bag is quite steep in terms of price, which is really fascinating that it doesn't get the exposure that I believe it personally deserves. So let's just get started. So this is the bag. Now, if you follow me on my other social media platforms, then you would have noticed that for me, this was one of my holy grail items comparison to the Hermes Birkin. So, all right. So the bag itself comes in this huge dust bag. As you can see, it's Ralph Lauren, excuse me. The dust bag is slightly dusty because I had it put away. So if you already saw, this is the bag that I'm referring to. It is the Soft Ricky in size 33. Now this bag comes in 3 different sizes. No, I'm sorry, in 4 different sizes. This is the 3rd one from the top, which is, I guess you can see, in medium, because there's another one that's above this one. It's slightly larger, but I would suggest that if someone were to purchase that, I think that one's more for like travel, and this one's more for a slightly everyday use in terms of maybe going to the office, because it does hold quite a bit of stuff. Anyhow, so this particular bag for me, I really wanted it. Hopefully it's picking up in the monitor, but this is in a tangerine orange leather color. Hardware is obviously silver. There you can see that right there. Now, the other 2 colors that I would like, there was a limited edition brown leather, but it almost had like an ombre look to it, where it kind of gave it kind of like an older look, where in the corners it had more of a darker brown leather, where the other areas was more kind of like a medium camel color. Now I can't seem to find that anywhere. I did see it on the pre-love market, but by the time I wanted to get it, it was already sold out, and that was about 3 years ago. Anyhow, so, and the other one would be a black in a Togo type of leather texture that I want to get. Same hardware, silver, excuse me. So again, I'll just turn it around. So there you go. That is the back sides. Sorry about the non-focusing. And that is the bottom. There are no actual hardware on the bottom. All that there is just these leather, they're pretty thick too, leather, can't say the word, leather, cushions, tabs. I'm not sure what the correct verbiage or term or word to describe these, but they are pretty thick. Hopefully, if you see that right there. So you can see that it does look like it would stay off the bottom slightly, not too much. It does come with the key locket right here. It does not work, even though there is a locket right there. It doesn't work because it just doesn't. It's not meant to work, at least not that I'm aware of. Now, this locket, even though it appears that it does lock, excuse me, all you have to do is pull the tab down and this pops up. There you go. Now, the nice thing about this bag that it is 100% man-made or individual made. by, I forgot what you call them, the same type of individuals. I know there's a word that Hermes used to have someone craft a handmade handbag for their like Kelly's, Birkins, things of that nature. So I know it looks very similar in terms of the style of a Birkin, but aesthetically, to me, it does not look like that. I don't have my Birkin with me to compare it, but the size of it, yes, obviously it is pretty much the same. But I will go ahead and open this so you guys can take a look. I've only used this bag, I would say, a handful of times. And the reason for that is that I don't want it to ruin. Because it is a very expensive bag, and it isn't something that it's obviously cheap. I mean, $3,000 is quite steep, so it isn't a bag that you can obviously just take anywhere, and especially the color itself, it's not a very universal color. So usually when I do use this, I use it in the spring and in summertime. So this bag can be used in different ways. If you've seen it originally, that is the way it came to me. I did buy this pre-loved, excuse me, from The Real. Now, the way you... Okay, how do I normally carry it? I forgot now. Okay, let's go back here. So now, when I do use it, I normally just carry the bag like this. Now, I don't normally keep the locks in place, and the reason for that is because if I need to get into the bag, I don't want to keep pulling on the straps right here and then end up tearing down the leather. Because if you can see, this bag, even though I did buy it from the pre-loved market, it's completely brand new, never used bag. But if you look at that, hopefully it's picking up. These straps right there, there's no wear, completely no wear whatsoever. It does come with an actual body strap that you can latch to the front right here and one in the back. Hopefully it picks up. So those are there. The only problem with those straps is that it's a very thin strap, so if you have a lot of stuff in this particular bag, it is going to hurt the shoulder. I do have it inside. Oh, the inside is completely gorgeous. So I do have a couple things in here, and that's just clothing just to keep it shape. But here, I'll give you a look in the inside. So the inside is this really bright green color, completely gorgeous and very unique. Now, it does have one single pocket inside with a little button closure. Hopefully I can get you... Well, there goes the front embossing, made in Italy. And then inside the pocket itself has the hardware stamp right there. Again, Ralph Lauren, made in Italy. And those are the only pockets that's inside itself. But again, keep in mind, this bag is 100% handmade, excuse me, my phone, by one person and one person only. I'm not sure what else to basically explain about this bag. Now there's these small little details, if you notice right there, the logo RL for Ralph Lauren. The front has it as well on the hardware, if you notice right there, and even on the leather. And even if you look right here, hopefully that picks up. I do apologize if it doesn't. There you go, RL. Even on the metal itself right here, hopefully it picks up, even RL is listed. So there's a lot of detail into this bag. And that's the reason why I feel it's completely underrated. Yes, it is a very pricey, hefty price point for $3,000, but I can see the work that actually went into it in terms of the way it was built. I mean, sorry, I'm trying to show you the stitching of the handle, but it's not coming through. Okay, so even like the handle itself is completely stitched really well. And then if you look at the, why am I going blank right now? The glazing, like the glazing is done so perfectly. Now, if you ever seen a Hermes Birkin in person, you'll notice like even the glazing up here on this flap binding area, completely smooth. Now, even over here, like, just look at that. Look at the stitching, look at the thread. There you go. Now, the strap itself is right here. Okay, comes in here. But again, as I mentioned, it is very thin. Okay, it's not picking up. I do apologize. There you go. See? Now, if you notice right there, it has on the opposite side the RL. Now, to me, these do look a little slightly cheap. I'm not going to lie. These claw clasps, however you want to phrase it, locks that goes on to the little D-ring hooks. Those do look a little cheap, but again, I've only used this straw strap one time, and I never used it again just because it didn't look flattering, and it also, like I mentioned, you can tell that it would eventually start to hurt once you start putting a lot of stuff in this bag. Now, the bag itself is extremely lightweight, like completely lightweight comparison to my Birkin. Huge difference in terms of the actual weight itself. The Birkin is completely heavy comparison to this bag. But yeah, that is my review and small, just overall appearance in terms of the Ralph Lauren Soft Ricky. And the only reason why I want to do a review on this particular bag, even though I didn't go much into details about it, is because there are no other videos out there about this particular bag, which I think is very interesting that there are not many out there. So hopefully this video finds you well. If you're looking to purchase a pre-love bag of the Soft Ricky, I would actually suggest doing so. And the reason why is because even though this particular bag retails for $3,000, and it can actually go up in price depending on the leather, the design of the bag, and other limited edition features to it. Not features, but if it's a limited edition type of bag, is that if you do go to the pre-love market, you can actually get a good deal from a roughly $500 up to $1,200. So again, depending on what you're looking for, and I gotta change that, depending on what you're looking for in terms of, or what you're willing to accept. Like if you go with like, I did see one that was like $500. There was a little bit scuffing on the side, nothing major, but you can tell that the scuffing was there. And if you're willing to deal with that, perfectly fine. Then go ahead and spend the $500 on that particular bag, knowing that it originally did cost roughly about $3,000 or even more, depending on that particular bag. So again, if you want to purchase this, go in the pre-love market. Again, it's unfortunate that this particular bag is completely underrated because I have seen other celebrities that actually have worn this bag before, but it just hasn't got into the mainstream in terms of the hype and the appearance of other celebrities kind of jumping onto the bandwagon. I believe this bag has been out maybe a good 8 years or 10 years now. So there you go. Now it kind of tells you that, I mean, Ralph Lauren still makes it. So if you go to the website, you get to see all the other Soft Ricky bags, all the different sizes, all different price points. So some of those bags you can even still buy on the pre-love market. Now this one's a little bit older because of the newer models. I forgot to mention that on the bottom, it's now even embossed with Ralph Lauren made in Italy. This one does not have it. I don't recall how old this bag is. But yeah, other than that, hope you enjoy the video. Until then, make sure you all brush your teeth, wash your culo, and subscribe. Until then, take care. Bye.